Hello everyone. This time this is not a robot voice. I just thought I'd show you guys a little Python experiment that you can do, and it's fun and it's easy to do. You can import and make your own modules to import files into other Python programs that you've made. Like for example, I've got this here, and when I run this, see what happens? Yeah, the only thing that's here is this. That's part of this file here. This print function right here is part of this imports variables file. Everything else got exported, imported into here. See this? The variables, they're all imported, but it comes from the export variables, which is right here. We'll go to here, and we'll minimize that, maximize it. See how we got the export variable 1 all the way to 6? And then the values are right here. This is your values. These are the variables. So we keep them here. We'll minimize this. We'll take this so I can get rid of this and close this. Put this back here again. Yeah, this here is where you can export and import all your files from here. Export variables, all that stuff that's from here goes into here. Now, this here message here, this message that you see here is part of this file here. This here will show up on top of the other file when I run this again, okay? We're gonna run this again. You see how it's right here? This message text is from the export variables Python file. The rest of this is from there transported into the file that we're looking at now, the import file. And this here is from the same file, the import file. This here came directly from the export file. And that's how this works. Now we're going to minimize this again, like here, and go like this. Now how I did this, we're going to turn the desktop icons back on again. View desktop, show the icons. There's a folder here I made called import variables. If you want to make modules, you got to make what is a folder for your files. Now this little PyCatch file, when you first make your files, when you first make them, this won't be here, okay? This won't be here. I'm just going to take it away like that because nothing happens. You don't delete it if you don't want to delete it, though if you want to keep these, but right now they're not linked or nothing. If I try to use this file and I go here to check it to see if it'll open, I get that, but I don't get no import folder for the PyCatch, nothing, okay? See how there's nothing? I can open the file, I can run it, and I shouldn't still get nothing. Okay? See how I get nothing here? I get nothing here. They're still not linked, okay? Where I go to do that is I close this. I will close this one again. We're going to go down here. I'm going to open it with idle. With the idle, I got Windows 11 here. Now watch the different outcome here. We're going to run it. As soon as I run this, you're going to see that little folder come back. See that? Now if I go into PyCatch, you're going to see the other file that it gets it from. All these variables are get stored in here. So you can delete this all you want, but it will come back. But it can only come back in the main file that you created to call all the other stuff into, with the import functions and the word from. Now here's another neat little trick. By doing what you're doing, and you can bring in other file names too. I just didn't make another file, but I'll show you how to do that as we go. But this here is from export variables. I need to import all these. Okay, I have to remember what I imported as the variables. If I leave any out, this won't work. So what I'll do is I'll leave one out, and I'll just show you what happens. Okay, I'll leave one out and I'll show you what happens. Oh no, you see this? I ain't got variable 6. I got a lot of stuff I gotta look through. Not to worry. What you do, you can even do it this way. We'll take this out. Okay? No, we'll leave that in there just to show you. It'll override this. It'll override that. We're going to remove this comment, and everything will be okay again. Even though there's no 6, it'll just it'll bring it all in. This asterisk here on the end of this little import, it brings everything in. So this won't matter. This will override that. I'll show you. It'll bring everything in regardless. See that? Now we got the value 6 back. See how we got the value 6 back? But up here it's not here. But this took over, okay? So if you forget all your names up to everything, don't bother writing all this down. You can just take it away like that and back this up. Now the asterisk, this will import everything that's on there, including the message that is on there too. That's actually part of the file. So it doesn't matter how many things you forget, and the import will remember everything for you. So you can actually use this with the asterisk though. And this only will work by itself with the asterisk. But if you want to remember, and you got to remember specific things, sometimes that's not always a good idea to use that. It all depends on your flavor. Now this here is, you can use this, just so I can demonstrate it for you better. We'll comment this out again so this won't be used. Now this is used. Now I gotta put in the variable 6. So we're gonna go like this. See? Go like this, go like this, go like this, and then we'll change this to 6. And then we're gonna test run it. There we go. And that's how it's done. Now, what you got to do is, you got to make sure that when you make your file names, when you make your names for your file, it's like export variables, you have to use an underscore. Use an underscore to save your file. I'll show you here. See how I got an underscore? You have to use an underscore. And the beauty thing about importing files into other Python files into other Python files, is you get the beauty of that you can keep your files smaller files with a lot more text that you can put in other files. That way you can run a file, and that way you can see nicer, neater files, instead of having a pile of variables and values with so much part of the program. You gotta look all the way down and this and that. Have your variables in one file, all your variables and your values, and have your other stuff, your main bulk of your programming language, if this and that, else then, all those fancy commands, while loops and stuff, have them play in this file, and have the file import the rest of this as your variables. So you can store all your variables in one file and make your programming a lot more neater and tidier. Or you can make straightforward files, which I'll make one right now, okay? I'm going to make a new file. It'll stay in the same folder because it came from here, from this new file here, because it came from the same location or allocation. It'll stay in the same allocation where the folder is. So I got the new file. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to go print. This is a program. Now we're going to go like this. Now I'm going to save this file, save as. And what I want to save this as, we're just going to call it printing. Okay, we're going to call it printing. And now, because I only got one word, I didn't have to use an underscore. So now how I import this, because it's by itself, this thing's totally by itself, we have to go like this. I have to go, I'm going to go down here. We'll go down to the bottom here. Or should I go underneath? Yeah, I'll go underneath. I got to go import printing. Let's see if this works. Yeah, see? This is the program. That's from the print program. We'll go back to the folder, and we'll go to printing, and we'll open it. See, this is the program. So you can make direct files too to pick them up and bring them into the other file too without variables involved at all. But I find it best to use your variables inside one and make your programming stuff do the other. Because unless you got a whole bunch of programming that you did millions of lines of code, then it's a good idea to break it all up. But other than that, though, I'd rather just make the variables be one file only and bring them into the actual main meat and potatoes program, Python program. It's way more better and it's tidier and it's a way of making your own modules. But you got to use the word from, okay? And then you import what you want, or if you want to import everything, you take this away and you simply import your asterisk. I get printing's by itself. It won't import, okay? It'll be by itself. I'll even prove it to turn it off. It'll actually be by itself. It won't. The asterisk only takes in what's in the variables to that. See, now that's not in there. So the asterisk doesn't cover the folder. It only covers the file's variables or anything associated to that file, other than like variables is what that works on better for the variables part. So I'm going to put this back in here, and then you'll see our little program message come up. See, this is a program. Now you see that come back. That asterisk won't cover that. It only covers the meat and potato. It only covers the variables and the values in this one here. So just remember that. You can make little segments of the program and name it as a variable and take out sums of the program. I can even make an exe loop and call it an executable automatic loop and call it repeat the process inside my file, whatever name you want to bring it. And then when you bring that variable in, it'll play that. It'll be part of this main program. So you can do a lot. But I like to use it mostly for storing the variables, because I like seeing the meat and potatoes all at once when I'm programming. That's my style. But I like to keep the variables once they work tucked away. I don't want to see a pile of variables when I'm looking at a small piece of programming. And like I got all these variables to a little tiny segment of programming. I don't want to see them all. It's like spaghetti. So I hide them all after I make them all. But this is a good thing to do. And I hope I've showed you guys something. But remember, when you go to the folder, you gotta give these an underscore. When you name the file, you gotta name it with an underscore. It won't recognize anything. Now with this little thing here, you can delete it all you want. But as soon as you go to play with this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn everything off, and you're gonna see the folder come on. I'm gonna make it go to DOS prompt, but it won't. Do I want to save this? I want to save this. I think I better cancel it. Did I do something there? Did I have to say something? Yeah, that's what I did. Oh, save. I'm going to go like this. Now what I'm going to do is go like this. Now you see this open here. There's nothing else. You see this here. When I go like this, nothing happens. That's the same program, but just the DOS window closed right away. I didn't open in idle mode. Now if I go like this, see that? Now if I go like this, and I hit this one instead, it doesn't even do nothing. I hit this one, it remakes your file. It remakes the PyCatch files. And when you go in here, that's what I got. I got this here. And where's the import file? The printing file, it should be part of it. No, it's not, because I got variables in here, that's right. The printing file is all on its own. But that's just how it works. Oh no, the printing's there. Sorry about that. I forgot I only had 2 files. I went down to 3. I went from 3 to 2 before I started to do this. But this is how you do it, okay? So this is the printer file. These are not readable like this, only readable to the machine. They don't open, okay? So don't even try. They don't open. But this here is what you can throw this away all you want and it'll keep coming back, but don't change the name. Do not change the name at all. Leave it as is. And this is how you make your own Python modules. That's how you do it. I'm just going to open it again so I can show you. I'm going to get a last look before we say goodbye. Oops. Didn't open it. There we go. Now let's say goodbye. And go like this. Here you go. Now you guys know what to do. All this is doing is importing everything. I took away the other strings because it didn't matter. But this imports everything here now. Now you won't forget anything. So I got my import, the printing, and this. And this here, like I show. We'll close this. And we'll open the export variables and see what they are. There we go. See, these are all here. And you make them all be your variables, and it's a lot better to store them and everything. But that's the little tip I've had for a while. I just had to figure out a way how to show it. And I got a crappy mic I'm talking on here, so that's why I've been using the robot a lot. And sometimes I use the robot because I have to write most of the stuff down, what I do as a manual. So I make it talk because it reads better than I even do. So this is just free talking here. This is me, the guy that does all the Python programming manuals. But I'm almost a complete walking computer science research laboratory machine on two legs. I hope I said that right, but I'm almost. I hope, almost. But anyway, thank you, and I hope you like what you saw so far, and give it a like, and probably help you in the future. Bye-bye.